Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to a much more overcast West Sussex than what it was last week. But at the end of the day, it's not raining yet. We did have a bit of rain last night. Let me bring my compadre in crime in. There he is.
Hello, hello, welcome.
Just to prove that he's about.
Yep,
And
I'm still here.
yeah, so what are we doing? Let me hide Andy then. And you've seen the blanks side by side on the promo. There's my blank. It's got a bit of hacked off bark where the Papua New Guinean guys cleaned it up. It's tapered, so they came off that side, the back, which you can't quite see at the moment. So I'm going to make a start on making my bowl. Andy will come in tonight and make his bowl. They will both be fairly different. It's the same size blank diameter wise. I think Andy's is a fraction deeper than what mine is. But,
I can tell you. I can't,
yeah, in round figures, they're about the
it's just
same.
about 70 mil.
Right, I think I'm a bit less than that by. I'm 65, not
Oh,
far
so
out.
yeah, 5 mil is
Yeah,
nothing much, is it?
no,
But yeah,
no. Well, it was a matter of cutting it down through the middle and then truing
they're
it
as
up.
near as
So,
you'll ever get to identical blanks, I
yeah,
think.
yeah. So, right, I'm all geared up. Turn the extractor on. I've got my glasses on. I've got the chuck locked on. We need it going the other way. So, we're turning in reverse as normal for me.
While you're
It
getting that,
keeps me clean, and the dust goes down the extractor. So while I'm going to get this into the basic shape, there Andy will read out who's in
yeah,
the
before it
chat.
before it all
Welcome
takes off
everybody
and goes
anyway.
mad. Yeah. Okay, so hello there, and sorry, I'll move my mic up a bit. That might be better. Tommy's Workshop was the first in. Richard Fellon, Michael McEwen, Chris Dodds, Colin Izzard, Tipsy Turner, Greg Alexander, Robert Dolman, all the same names again. Hodgepodge, morning Rob.
Hi Rob.
Afternoon Rob. Robert Dolman, I said. Roger Kent, good afternoon. Terry Hooper, I beg your pardon.
Hooper?
Terry Hooper, yes, not Cooper.
It's Henry Cooper.
My mother's maiden name was Cooper, so it sort of springs to mind sometimes. Sorry, Terry. No insult intended. Anyway, very pleased to see you. Jennifer's Craft and Creations. Hello, Jennifer. Chris, Robert, and that's about it.
That's about it. Well, welcome everybody.
For the time being.
Thank you all for coming over and watching. Hopefully you'll learn a bit. Apparently several of you do, from what you say in the comments afterwards. It's getting to shape, a little bit more off. So it's nice to be able to do it and offer instruction, or the way that both Andy and I work. We will never say it's the only way or it's the correct way. What we will say is it works for us.
Absolutely. Yep.
And that's about it. Right, that's better. That's not bleached you out, is it? No.
No, that's fine. So I've just been turning you up a bit, but I think I'm all right now.
That's right. I've got a really dusty screen. That's better.
Right. Yeah, that does help, doesn't it?
I think it's a very spotty screen today, but not much I can do about it. If the picture's coming over good your end, that's
Yeah, no,
fine.
that's fine here. Yeah, Nick
Yep.
Castle's in, Benjamin in. I think I missed those two.
Not a name that I heard, but we don't always hear everyone as it's
No,
coming through.
I think they've come up just after I stopped because I've been adjusting the sound. I didn't see him actually come in. So anyway, welcome. Eric Winkler is in.
Hello, Eric.
Which takes us up to 21, which is very good as a starter.
21 at 6 minutes in. So that's
Yep.
Brilliant, guys. Thank you.
Not bad at all.
So currently, this is being held on a faceplate ring on my F jaws, which are slightly smaller than the C jaws that most people use. But I don't want a big foot on this when I've finished. And through changing to the F jaws, I can keep it at a reasonable size. And as it's only, never did measure it, a diameter. I think they're both, well, they are both the same within a fraction. Yeah, it's just a good 8 inches diameter. So I don't want sort of 4 inches of foot particularly. So let's get the dividers already preset. Left hand leg, lightly score, which marks the diameter I want. Go in with a parting tool, and I've only got this one in here. Clean that up with a homemade scraper.
Sorry, I'm chatting away here with the mute button pressed. But beg your pardon, Jennifer. I missed your question, which was what timber is it? It's Merbau. It's from from Papua New Guinea, and it's the same as I should be turning tonight. So that's why I know. And Keith will tell me if I've got that wrong.
Yep, it's exactly the same. And if you look on the thumbnail, on the picture of the thumbnail picture, you can see we've got the same identical branch inclusions into them. It's just how it cut.
It's as near as you can get to two identical blanks. Yep. So
A little bit of decoration on the bottom. And that's
a
just
few more people.
literally.
Sorry.
So that's
Came in
literally
while
putting the corner of a tool in there.
Yeah. While I was muted and chatting away to everybody.
Yeah, it was really peaceful, mate. Sorry.
David J. Heath, the Guildford Carpenter, came in. I don't think that came across,
No,
did it?
that's a new name. Well, it's not a new name, but it's
but new
the
today.
fresh one today. Yep.
Yeah, I thought there was somebody else, but perhaps not. If I missed you, I do apologise. Just shout and I'll put it right.
It's not deliberate. We don't do it deliberately.
Benjamin's finally set up his 406 lathe. She's all up and running. So much grease, he said, but it's worth all the effort, Ben. It's a lovely lathe. I'm very, 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 very pleased with mine.
So just taking the odd ring off with a bit of 80 grit. And go straight on to 120.
Roy's the boy is in.
Hello, Roy. Bit of 120 on it now. Get rid of that light. That's better. It's a really nice and easy wood to work in sand. Almost too soft. It doesn't take much cleaning up. .240 grit. Now, am I happy with the shape? It's sanded up well. Yeah. Just about see it at the top of the picture there. There's a bug hole, I believe. Nothing I can do about that.
Nope, that's it. No, I've got a couple of wormholes in mine, but nothing as
Oh,
big as that.
Yeah, there's wormholes around here.
In the sapwood.
Yeah,
Mostly,
well,
yeah. I don't know how deep they go, but
yeah, ironically, there's the heart, and they're just round it. So
yeah.
I've got them all the way around. I think I had more bug holes than what you did, but I'm not worried about that. We didn't do a count on that. But they go in and they leave a black ring around their hole.
All right.
They're quite funny looking things.
They're foreign, aren't they?
They're foreign, yeah. Yeah. But there's a. Can you see it just there? It's a black outline to the hole.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, quite happy with that. So just going to threaten it with some 400, just because I've got some. It's surprising how much it takes off, and that's going straight down the extractor. You can just about see nice. Yeah, you can just see the extractor over the back, and you can just see the rooster plume of it disappearing down. So I know it's all going down there, and I'm not breathing any of it, and that's through turning in reverse and sanding in reverse. So that's 400. That's better. You can see still.
Yep.
Yep. Hold it the right way around. Acrylic sanding sealer from Chestnut. Only because it's so much quicker than the shellac, which I would normally use.
I'm on cellulose at the moment. I've nearly run out of acrylic, so I must get some more. Does the same job though.
Yeah, yeah. And it's surprising how thirsty this wood is. You can't quite see it, but just there, it soaks right in.
I was going to say it's drying. Yes, you can see that.
Yeah, little white holes in it. So we have the ways and means of doing it all. Once that's polished back, that'll be nice.
Yep.
So you can see the colour of the wood there now.
It's gorgeous.
Really nice grain on it. So I'm going to do the same as what I always do. Wax. Wax on, wax off. Let's turn this dust extractor off for a few minutes. You can't hear it, but I can. Right, drop the speed right down. Massage it's the fine, you can see it there. Fine paste wax. Yeah. It's handy having the monitor just above where you're working. You can double check
see what you're doing. Yeah.
The old-fashioned way of doing it before Yorkshire grit was invented. And it works a treat. the same as Yorkshire grit. No problem with using it. I haven't got a lot at the moment, but I would certainly use it. But I've got more than enough. I've got another 2 or 3 tinfuls of paste wax. Right, that's in reverse.
Ash at Kitey's Shed has come in. Good afternoon, Ash.
Hi guys. So now we're running it the conventional way. So all the little fibres that were knocked up are now getting knocked off.
Oh, Chris at Bailey's Woodworks in.
Hello, Chris. Ramp up the volume a bit.
Andrew, Wivey's Woodshed.
They're all creeping in now. Welcome, guys.
Yep.
27 of you watching.
Woodworm Paul.
Douglas Mungham. Did I hear that one name before? But he's in.
Is he? Doug Miller's in. I don't know if I said him earlier.
Can't
My
remember.
my memory's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pickled it. So that should now polish up a treat. Drop the speed back a bit. I'm going to need to repolish this because I'm going to end up sanding that top, which isn't quite the top yet. But I can't get at the very bottom unless I do it off the lathe, which is not unheard of.
I missed Terry Hooper's question. I'm very good. Beg your pardon, Terry. I'll look back and find it. But if I don't manage to, just ask again.
It's frustrating at times because the chat goes too quick.
Yeah, why acrylic and not cellulose was Terry's question.
Because that's what I've got.
Yeah, as I said at the time, I've nearly run out of acrylic, so I'm using cellulose at the moment.
Yeah.
That it really doesn't make a great deal of difference. If you're not colouring or anything like that, then it doesn't matter which one you use, to be honest.
I'm not going to say that's nice, but look at the shine on there. It's too much for the lights.
Yes. Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it?
Bleached
Gorgeous.
it out.
That's a lovely piece of grain on that.
Hopefully, yours will be virtually the same. Now, holding the chuck and just twisting it on there just to clean it up. Now, one thing you will notice, guys, is I've got an oil mark there.
Sorry, Roy. I answered your question a bit earlier when Jennifer asked the same question. What is it? It is Merbau, Merbau, which is from the Papua New Guinea.
Right, as I was saying, there's an oil mark there. After I finished last week's live with the wet apple bowl, I put the brush down and I put it on top of this bit of wood.
Oh well, that's preserved.
So that's helping me choose the actual shape of it, because I should be turning, hopefully, most of that off, and hopefully it won't have gone in too deep.
Terry's asking, when does the acrylic or cellulose make a difference? And it is really if you've got a wood dye on there, bit of colouring. If you use cellulose on a spirit-based dye, it tends to move the dye around a bit. Whereas if you use acrylic on a spirit-based dye, it doesn't affect it as much. You have to be a bit gentle with it, but so broadly speaking, that's the reason for using one or the other. But when it's just as Keith's using it at the moment, it doesn't make a great deal of difference.
And if you're using something like the intrinsic colours from Martin Saban Smith, they are water-based, so you would really want to use the cellulose on them.
Yeah, for the same reasons in reverse, isn't it? Yep.
Yeah.
Gary Glass is in. He says, "Oops, I'm late. Is that still fashionable?"
Well, apparently, you're not late because you can watch it later on. Just that you can't always get involved in the chat later on.
No, which is a shame, but there we are. It's always nice to chat to everybody. Up to 30 now.
Yeah, welcome, guys. No wonder that's not cutting right. Someone put the tool rest up and didn't put it back down again. That's better. You have to shout if it disappears. Oh no, it's on screen. That's good. So cut the inside. I'm cutting it the correct rotation because it's throwing it away from me down the extractor. This isn't going to be a lightweight bowl. I don't want it so that you can see through the bark. I've got to take a bit more off because that is where the saw went through. So now I've got a shape. I can refine it. I think I'll go down to a smaller chisel. That was my normal 1/2 inch. I've got a 1/4 inch bowl gouge, which I can exactly the same grind, so I don't have any issues picking up the bevel.
Roy's the boy is asking why the faceplate is still on.
Security. Wait. How many of you guys have put a faceplate on, turn the back, taken it off, had a nasty catch, and then had to remount it? And if you own up, probably everybody. I have. Particularly when I was starting out on this wood turning lark. It was quite an easy thing to do. You just stab the bit of metal at it and oops, it throws it off. Whereas now if I do happen to get a catch because I've got a knot in the side there, there's a branch inclusion there that's buried, another branch there. If there was a really nasty bit and it got caught and it threw it off, I could still remount it because I've got the faceplate on. So if you've got the smaller faceplates, and this is the Axminster F jaws, it is worthwhile leaving it on as long as you can. It's not in the way. And the other thing is I do quite a bit, or have done in the past, quite a bit of beginner teaching. Well, just because they've got a bit of metal that's sharp, they think it'll cut if they jab it in, and it's thrown it off. So we've been able to remount it. It's just something I've got so used to doing that I don't think any more about it now. It's not an absolute must, you must do it,
No. Chris Dodd says, I thought that was compulsory. Keith. But no,
Well, it is
not
for all the
absolutely.
students I take, until such times as they've got to a position that they can show me they've got a little bit of tool control. So checking the wall thickness with the digital calipers. One nice pass across that. Now I will do the deed and take it off. 3 screws only. And they're inch 8, so they're not massive. And that little ring measuring up at about 2 inches, I believe. Just over 2 inches. 2 1/8. Just gives me that security. Easier than a 4 or 6 inch faceplate, if that's all you've got. But over here, I know I've got biggest part of all of the Axminster range of interchangeable jaws, which is good. And the F jaws are the ones that tend to stop on here the most and get used the most. If I was doing 11, 12 inch plus platters, it would be the C jaws.
Wood turnings by Barry is in.
Hello, Barry. And the only reason I'd change the jaws is because they've got a bigger faceplate. That's the C jaws, and that's the F jaws in the middle of them. So you can make quite a lot smaller foot by just changing the jaws.
And Douglas says, Keith, how do you centre the faceplates, please?
Simple. I can show you that on another blank because it's easier. I cut all my own blanks. So when I cut them, yep,
That's it.
I always cross the centre with the compasses. I always draw it with a compass, change the compass over, swing it, and there's the centre. From there, I have another pair of compasses set the right diameter that I can then locate the centre again. Now this is set for a different faceplate. Draw my faceplate ring, draw a ring round it. I then can quite easily attach the faceplate, and I can just see round the edge of the faceplate ring. You can just see it there, the pencil line, so I can centralise it. So that's the 3 stages that I use. It works for me. So if you ever get a blank from me, as Andy will tell you, there's usually a cross on one side where I've
Certainly is.
squared it up, trued it up, and cut it.
Eric Winkler's got to be back to work.
Sorry, Eric,
bowl.
but you can watch it later. I'm gradually working the centre down. Don't forget the centre is basically static, so you've got to really slow down the speed of cut as you get to the centre. And there's the little centre pip in the flute of the gouge. So you can go relatively fast through the outside where it's spinning, but a fair bit faster. If you get to the centre, you slow down the speed of cut, unless you just really want to hack it off, in which case go at it full tilt.
Douglas Mungham says he's seen a jig that sits inside the plate with a point that you put in the centre mark. Yeah, there are centre finders around. I'm not sure it's worth the expense.
It's probably the only time I would consider something like that was if I didn't have a bandsaw big enough to cut the blanks.
Yeah.
So I've got a bandsaw big enough to cut the blanks. I don't need it because I cut all of mine. It's very rare I'll go and buy a blank. And if I do, I'll just work it out where it is.
Yeah.
So,
Douglas says it was a homemade jig, but as I say, I don't see it as a big problem, to be honest.
so we'll drop the speed back and start sanding this down. To get that a bit closer to the outlet. Just feel the grain in the middle. It's a fairly coarse grain, this Merbau wood. It's not the easiest to get a finish straight off with a chisel, particularly in the centre where it's moving very slowly. Round the edge is okay.
It does sort of tear in the middle there, doesn't it?
If you're not careful, yeah, and it bounces in and out of the grain.
That's it, yeah.
Keep finding a fresh bit of grit. Holding the very corner of the paper in the very centre of the turning so that it's not throwing it around too much. Not putting a massive amount of pressure on there, but just keep it moving. And it wouldn't be the first time that I've turned the speed right up. Something like 700 revs just to do the middle inch of the bowl because it wouldn't stand at 250.
Or 0, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So for those of you who've got variable speed lathes, or if you've got the Reeves drive, drop it right down to the lowest speed for sanding on something like this. You will get a far better result if you're hand sanding. If you've got the sanding disc, whatever you call them, the inertia sanders, you do need to be about 600, I think, to get them to work. There's a great growth ring right through the middle. That's hard. That's where the paper was bouncing over it. So with the grain, it's already gone. That's got rid of it. So it's worth stopping just to double check Like I say, I'm just taking out the lumps with this because it's a bit of 80 grit. So it feels smooth. I've got a little ridge just there. Not enough to worry about. Straight over to 120. "35 minutes in?" God.
Yep, it is.
Sorry guys, it might not even make the hour unless we all sit and chat.
As if we'd do a thing like that. 37 people in. That's not bad for lunchtime.
No, very well. Very good. Do you want to put your link in for tonight, Andy?
I can do that, indeed. Yes, I will.
Might as well do it while you've got a mass audience.
Yep.
So the other half of this blank log, call it what you will, Andy's got. You will have seen it with the A on it because we chose. I got Andy to choose it when he came over the other week, and I said, "You sure you want that one?" So he said, "Yeah, that one will do." So I stuck an eye on it straight away before he could change his mind.
Is there something I don't know? There it is anyway, the link for tonight.
Well done, mate. So you see how Andy attacks his and approaches his, which would be slightly different because no two turners are the same. That was 120. Brush some of that off.
Oh, Peter Corcoran's in.
Hi, Peter. Just got up, mate. Yeah, you've retired. I'd say you've been busy.
Oh, he's retired now, is he?
Yeah.
Real life
Yeah.
can start, yeah.
Yeah.
Douglas Mungham says, "Have you both got over turning you?" Absolutely not, Douglas.
No.
I'm sure we'll be back to it very soon.
It's just that I've got a supply of this as well. And it just seemed like a good thing to suggest to Andy. Did he want to do his take on the other half of the log? So there was no pressure on it. And it just one of
I'm
those
game
things.
for anything, yeah.
Yeah. We don't have. They're all going to be one-offs. It's just that mine's one off of me, and Andy's will be one off of him.
Yep.
So that's now 400 grit paper. Don't have to, but as it's a soft wood, I tend to just go down that far. And it's surprising how much dust comes straight off as well.
That's a similarity you will see tonight, yeah. Because I tend to go to 400 as well.
So I can see I've got an issue on the end grain.
Oh, right, yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
There's a little mark there.
Yep,
And
see it, yep.
There's a little bit just around there.
Yep.
So I'll go back to the 240, which is, that's 120. There's the 240. And
as has been said before, never be afraid to go back.
No, I'll hand sand that because I don't think it will need a lot. So I'm holding the chuck still and just using my thumb as a bit of weight on a bit of 240 paper. And ash is one of the worst ones for possibly getting a bit of end grain tear out.
Yeah, tell me about it.
But,
on my platters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gone quite well there. Just a little bit of a mark there, which is now virtually gone. So fire it up.
Peter says he hasn't just got up, he's been up since 6 o'clock and been repairing a wardrobe for his granddaughter.
Okay. So do we believe him? Any
Oh,
pictorial?
no evidence, but
No, no pictorial evidence. I reckon he's just got up and using his granddaughter as the excuse.
oh,
It's all right,
Katie,
guys. Pete and I know each other fairly well. We always have a little bit of banter. So it's not as if I'm trying to upset him.
Katie Cornish Maid 1982 is in.
Hi, Katie. Hope the other half, young Chris, is okay. He got over his COVID. He did a U over the weekend with me, mate. He turned a stem for a goblet,
Oh yeah,
and it turned out very well.
good.
That
I've
was
got
long distance learning. That was.
I've got another one of those I want to do sometime. I'll do that as a
Mhm.
live for gin glasses, but a short, stubby one.
Okay.
I don't think I
Well,
did that on here, did I?
no, I've
No.
suggested that he invests in some champagne flutes because it's for a wedding present.
Oh right, yeah, yeah.
But he did it in as a wine glass. So hopefully you were quite impressed with that, Katie.
Brent Beecroft is in.
Yeah, so's he. All right, let's have a look now. That's it. Those little marks, sanding, cutting marks have now
Katie says,
totally disappeared.
yes, Keith, he sent me a photo of it and I loved it.
Yeah, I've seen the photo as well, Katie. Exactly the same acrylic sanding sealer.
At least there's no decision to make about colour or texture on this, is there?
No,
With that grain.
no. It would be sacrilege to do anything.
It would absolutely be, yes.
I think if I did anything, it might have been just a highlight mark around either the top of the rim or just down in the rim.
Yeah, but no more than that.
No,
Yeah,
what I've actually got, I don't think you can't see it. Let me get round to there. Yes, you can just see it up here. The bottom swoops out, and I've left it as a corner where the top rolls over. So there is a definite mark just there, definite edge. It might be more evident on the stills I put up later on, or should be. But that is deliberate because I wanted.
Pete. Oh, Pete Twisted Trees is in.
Hello, Pete.
And somebody. And Brian at Hartwood Turning. Sorry, Brian and
Oh,
Pete.
right.
I missed you
Hi,
both
guys.
coming in. Brian was turning a piece of yew yesterday and threatening to colour it.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I did put in "Don't you dare," but
no, I was having to sit with the wife for a little while, so I didn't see a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment, that's more important than watching and following you guys. But I did quickly skim through it this morning. I've seen some of it. I haven't seen it all, Brian. I will follow it through when I get 5 minutes to myself, he said. Not sure when that 5 minutes will be.
Douglas is saying great grain pattern. Katie is saying lovely markings on the wood. I hasten to add.
Well, I'm hoping that's what they were on about. So just massaging it in, the same as you would do Yorkshire grit. Except you would use paper for Yorkshire grit, and I'm using 1600 grit equivalent Weebrax pad.
Net result is very similar.
Yes. Yes. Creep the speed up. Get the wax melted in a fraction. Won't go in very deep because of the sanding sealer.
Douglas says, hope the wife is okay.
She'll never be okay, Douglas, but she's better. We're getting answers to the bits and pieces we need answers to. She has COPD, so we've got to learn to live with it and control it. And we seem to be managing fairly well at the moment. Or she seems to be managing fairly well. We've just got to get the meds sorted out now totally.
Copperell wood turning is in.
Now,
Rob, isn't it?
it's Rob, isn't it? Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
I believe.
There are too many Robs and I'm never quite brave enough to say it.
And who was the other one? Jeff from... Oh. He was in early, Jeff. We questioned it last week and said we'd never remember who it was.
You're quite right, we haven't. Well, he's in today.
Yeah, I believe he's in today.
I didn't think we'd had a Jeff, but
No, he's got a different name on there. That's why we he said we never remember.
No,
Right at the
you're quite
right
right.
at
We
the
didn't.
beginning. Yeah, right at the beginning.
Yeah,
he came
I'm
in.
up as far as I can get back,
Right.
and I've got
a little bit of wax that's rolled round.
How far back can I get? Oh, it keeps going back a bit more.
Tipsy Turner.
Oh, Tipsy Turner. Right, I don't. Is he in?
Yeah, he just put a note
Oh,
in.
yes,
I'm
there
sure
he is. Yes.
that's
Yeah. Good
Jeff,
morning to those in the pre-noon hours.
Yeah.
I think you could be right.
Yeah. Well, if not, we can certainly remember Jeff. Whether it's the right person's a different thing.
yeah. But hey,
Yeah,
he'll get used to it if we keep it up.
You get called all sorts of things on here.
Robert Dolan's bitten the bullet and said hello, Jeff.
All right. Let's take some safety glasses off. That's better.
It must be right because Tipsy Turner has said hello to various people who are saying, "Hey, Tipsy," or "Hey, Jeff." So, yeah.
Let's go to the mugshot, the bag.
Oh, Jennifer caught up with us and said you're talking about Tipsy.
Good.
Well done, Jennifer. And other people actually said it as well. We missed all that because I was checking back through the chat.
Right.
Anyway, go on.
There is the bowl. I'll see if I can
very
change
nice.
the camera so that it picks up the right way.
Does finish nicely, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you can just see up the side there where I've come up from underneath and then started again to radius it in for the middle.
With an Aris.
So there we are, guys. 49 minutes in.
I was going to say just under the hour, yep.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. So I'll take it in with
from
me.
People.
And then I can hold it up when Andy comes back in tonight. Just trying to find the mouse.
Yeah, very nice, Keith. Lots of nice comments from people. So
thanks, guys. That's scary, isn't it? He hasn't seen it
yet. Sorry about that.
Yeah, they don't need to be massive lumps of wood. This is quite heavy. I'm quite happy with the finish on that.
Royce the boy says, "Where did you buy the wood, Keith?"
I didn't. Bit of a story, Roy. A club member from West Sussex Woodturners used to live in Papua New Guinea. When he was moved back, he decided, and he was a wood turner at the time, or did a bit of dabbling in wood. He brought back the biggest part of a container full of wood. He's used a fair amount of it, and Scott and I got asked if we would like to repurpose some, along with Mr. Barry Chitty, who's not in at the moment. So between the three of us, we have, I've got most of it, but we have a fair selection of this Papua New Guinean wood. So I've cut it up because I've got the bandsaw that would do it, and I didn't really want to take it elsewhere and do it. So I've cut it all up into basically blanks, and the only criteria was that it wasn't sold directly for profit, that it was sold for charities or donated to charities, which is what I've done. When I sell a piece, I generally keep the money separate and it goes into a charity of sorts. Basically, it will be the Southampton Veterans Association for me. Donated a couple of small pieces to Andy over the weekend, which he hasn't quite turned yet, but when he turns them, they'll be going towards the church refurbishment fund. Yeah. So, yeah, I didn't pay for it. Who's the mug shot next to you?
Cheeky, what's it? It's got my name. I wouldn't mind, but it's got my name underneath it.
Yeah, Baz is in. Sorry, Baz, but what you missed was the making of that. It was almost away and did it before I'd finished. And, but we weren't rushing. So
I'll just put my
drop your link in again for
link
tonight.
in again. Yep. There it is. 'Tis on there. It'll come up eventually.
It'll come up on you, StreamYard. It's a sexy bowl. It's got the curves. Yeah, it's come up on there. So you did press the right button, Andy.
Good Lord. Whatever next.
It's got nice curves towards it. So.
And beautiful grain patterning.
Excellent grain, yeah.
So I look forward to turning my piece tonight.
Yeah, yeah. Just make sure you sharpen the chisel and try not to use the scraper.
That's this afternoon's job.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So that is about it, guys. If you've got any questions or want to make any comments, whack them in now. Otherwise, I'm going to go and put some stuff in the post box, because I only get one day a week for 2 hours, and it's always a Tuesday afternoon, 2 till 4. So the time I get in, it will be just about 2. Yeah, sorry, Andy, the picture shocked me. Well, it did me, but I crept it up without him noticing it.
Yeah, I wasn't even watching. Yeah.
No. What time are you on, Andy? It's UK time. That's 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Yep.
Yeah, 8 o'clock tonight.
And the picture's up on, but it's easy to confuse with Keith's picture because it's the same picture. So, but it's got my name underneath it or above it or whatever it is. So.
Or you cut and paste the link that's just gone through.
I actually typed it in. Oh no, yes, sorry, yeah, the link, yeah, but the description on mine, I actually typed it all in. I didn't even cut and paste from yours. I thought I should do it fresh. So anyway, yes, so that's as lots of people are saying, that's a lovely bowl, and Rod's the boy's got some degreasing to do.
Yeah, well, it's his new toy, isn't it? He's got to go and degrease.
Yeah, don't want it going rusty though.
5 a.m. in Australia, so I'm guessing that you'll just about be up then, Chris, in time.
Might see Chris. Yes, possibly.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You want to shout, Chris?
Yeah. He should be going to bed by now, shouldn't he?
I think he will be soon. If he...
6 hours time.
Yeah.
So it must be 11 o'clock at night. So, yeah.
So with that,
Hey-ho.
guys,
Yeah.
I'm going to end the broadcast. It's nice to see 34 of you still watching after 55 minutes. So we must be doing something right, Andy.
Yep. Absolutely.
See that, or they're bored out of their brain and got nothing else to do. Yeah.
Well, ta-ta, as Baz says.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody. Hopefully see most of you tonight.
Yes. So thanks, guys. Bye for now. Don't forget to come over and see how Andy performs tonight, and we'll see if we can get them together to take a picture side by side. The worst we can do is I'll hold mine up, and Andy will hold his up when he's finished.
And my bowl as well.
Exactly.
Yep. Absolutely.
Right. On that note,
yep.
I'm gonna hit the off button. Cheers, guys. Thanks
Cheers,
very
bye.
much. We'll see you tonight.